fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. It's Thursday, June 1st, 2023, and I am back at my desk after a shorter than normal work week with that 3-day weekend. Hopefully, you're able to enjoy the full 3 days of the Memorial Day weekend that has just passed. And next up for some of you will be Juneteenth, national holiday, June 17th through 19th. That'll provide a 3-day weekend. And other than that, you've got the July 4th holiday in another month. It falls on a Tuesday, so maybe with a little bit of creative independence, you can muster up there next month a little extra time then. It was, of course, a beautiful, beautiful weekend here at the Jersey Shore. Some areas along the coast in Monmouth, Ocean, Atlantic, and Cape May counties, some areas enjoyed some really good fluke fishing. Others, it was a little bit picky in some places. Friends of mine in Great Bay, Little Lake Harbor, in some spots, told me the snodgrass is back. It might be time for the old Tuckerton Classic. Shad dart with a live mini on the bottom, and your bobber set just so that mini is right up over the snodgrass. That's the way they've always done it. In the upper stretches of Barnegat Bay, there were some slow, picky stretches along my nape of the neck. Monday morning, actually, I had a 20-incher on ice in the box. Then I had to throw back like a 21, a 23, and one I believe was closer to 26 inches or above that I had it in the net, and I was like, just frustrated, threw it back. But with the slot being what it is, we just keep on fishing. Quick update before getting to the latest reports and the forecast for the weekend, but this week's edition of the Fisherman magazine, the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition, it features Cody Gregory on the cover with a nice striper caught and released while fishing with Captain Jim Frieda. Now, we have the latest Memorial Day weekend reports available for you over at thefisherman.com. You could look at all three editions, New England, Long Island, Metro New York, and New Jersey, Delaware Bay. Just sift through the various regions and get all the latest. But while you're over there at thefisherman.com, if you're not a paid member, $29.95 for the year, at some point you're going to click on a page and you're going to get a window that shuts you out. You need your username and password. So you need that $29.95 to go browsing through the entire wealth of information at thefisherman.com. And of course, that also entitles you to join the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. You can, of course, find the June edition in your local tackle shops, in marinas, or even your nearby Wawa. It's loaded with striped bass information. Summer plugging, Nick Honachesky, page 20. Flutter and drift spoons by Captain Jimmy Frieda on page 24. If you go inside that glossy section, there's a live bait striper fishing piece on 12G that also has a how to throw a cast net on video. I'll share that on the upper screen. There's a little message if you're watching us on YouTube that goes across. You can click there and find that out. The entire ASMFC striped bass emergency story, that's on page 18G by me. And there's also a surface iron spotlight on page 34G. It's a packed edition, June, on newsstands. Look for John DePersonaire on the cover. Well worth the read. That said, there is a small mistake in the back in the report section that some readers have found. I wish I could offer prizes like an Easter egg hunt. While we were updating the Delaware black sea bass regulations during the weekend that we went to print, someone mistakenly put the Delaware sea bass change under the New Jersey table. On screen right now, you'll see the actual regulations for New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. You'll find that over at thefisherman.com, of course. But in terms of black sea bass here in the Garden State, you will see that New Jersey has a 12.5-inch size limit and a 10-fish bag limit on black sea bass until June 19th. That's a little more than 2 weeks left to load up on the biscuits before the regulatory window clamps shut. And if you pick up that June edition of the Fisherman magazine, if you're like me, you have a little bay boat and you don't feel like going out to the offshore wrecks, there are a lot of captains, all the crews, the party boats, the for-hire boats, the tackle shops that also have recommendations. Pick up that June edition, find yourself a boat. It's like a Yellow Pages. Remember the Yellow Pages we used to, you know what I use my old phone book for now? As a line spooler. Yeah. All those great advertisers are in there. So if you need a boat, pick up that June edition. You'll find everybody who's sailing for humpbacks. Like Captain Ralph aboard the Last Lady, for example, out of Neptune, who just put Tim here on the pool-winning Black Sea Bass during the Wallace charter trip earlier this week. You've got boats out of the Highlands, out of Atlantic Highlands. Down in Barnegat, the Miss Barnegat Light is back in action as of Memorial Day weekend and out there on the reefs and wrecks where, in addition to the sea bass, she and a few other head boats are now sifting through the fluke in ocean waters. Though honestly, I still believe the best fluke bite is in the back bays. I missed Manasquan. All the boats out of Manasquan on both the Brielle side and the Point Pleasant side. Captain Joe aboard the Jamaica 2. Patrons are stringing together some really nice catches of black sea bass. And it's up and down the coast as well, out of Atlantic City and down into Cape May County as well. Out of Avalon, I heard from 8-year-old Brantley Eveland after his first offshore trip aboard the Miss Avalon, a 6-hour voyage aboard which Brantley got the pool winner, a 3-pound knothead on a simple high-low rig tipped with just a little bit of clam. Another young'un on the meat was Mara Hetrick, a 21.5-inch sea bass, which is larger than most of the fluke that I catch. She caught that using a combination of a long squid strip and a minnow on a dropper loop rig on structure that was about 115 feet of water, in about 115 feet of water just outside of Indian River in Delaware. Now remember, folks, back to what we said at the beginning of this week's video fishing forecast. You have to be a paid member of the Fisherman magazine to participate in the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. And right now, black sea bass, the leaderboard is wide open. And you're not just competing for the boat and the motor and the Minn Kota. You're competing for a whole bunch of prizes, including wild card prizes that are going to be on that leaderboard somewhere this season. So make sure that when you get that big knothead, it's a big one, it's a 3-pounder, a 4-pounder or better, bring it back to the local tackle shop for weigh-in. And then you'll be able to submit your membership application with that fish registration and hopefully win a prize in the Fisherman Magazine's Dreamboat Fishing Challenge.
Now it's time for the Dreamboat update. Derek Plummer is the new weak fish leader with his 8.66-pounder weighed in at Bobby J's in Milford, Connecticut. Bobby Cifarelli built his lead score with an 8.47-pound tide runner, landing him in second place for the category. Joe Hernandez made his first ever Dreamboat entry and topped the Sea Robin board with his 3.34-pounder. Joe Kotak logged the first fluke of the 2023 contest, and it was a good one at 7.1 pounds. Kyle Kraus lifted himself into second place overall with his 2.4-pound porgy. Charlie Pickus caught this fat bluefish that weighed in at 15.2 pounds, and that was good enough for second place in the category. The leaderboard now looks like this. Eddie Terrabil dropped from first to third, now with 14 points. Kyle Kraus clawed his way into second place with 15 points, and Bobby Cifarelli is our new leader with 19 points. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a 21-foot Steigercraft center console powered by a Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Visit thefisherman.com to subscribe and get all the details so you can be part of the action.
Sticking in the South Jersey, Delaware region for just a moment, there have been some impressive black drum catches in the past week or so. Someone critiqued me for recently using the word fantastic to describe the drum catches on Delaware Bay. But surely, this 50-inch, 65-pound boomer for William Connor in the Bayshore Channel over the Memorial Day weekend is a fantastic example of the catches to be had in the Delaware Bay and that region right now. Personally, even though it's big, a lot of people talk about those dinner-sized drum, 15 to 20 pounds. I find that with a little bit of blackening, the blackened seasonings, the Chef Paul Prudhomme stuff, on a cast iron griddle, sear in those juices. My father has always enjoyed some of those bigger drum, breading them, deep frying them, and serving Parmesan style with a little tomato sauce and some mozzarella cheese. I'm most enjoying my time right now with air fried fluke. I see my wife hates a deep fat fryer. She doesn't want the house smelling like a fryer. So we ended up getting an air fryer, which works really well. What I'll do is I'll salt and pepper my fluke fillets. I'll wash them in a mixture of egg and beer, and then coat in a spicy panko crust. Spray both sides of the fillet with olive oil, then just use the fish fry setting on that air fryer, roughly 8 minutes. It's just as good as fried without getting that fryer smell in hell. The wife thinks I'm eating healthy. Phillies, Michael Mitchell reminds us you have that 3 fish bag limit in the Garden State. 2 from 17 to 17.99 inches, one of those 18 inches above. That's your 3 fish bag. Or you've got 2 fish at 16 inches at Island Beach State Park. And if you're running out of ports like Fortescue on the Delaware, you have 3 fish at 17 inches west of the Cull Regs right now. So plenty of places to choose your best bet. Staten Island is going to be fishing under New York regulations. And of course, Delaware, you've got much better regulations if you're running out of Lewis Harbor or Indian River Inlet. Tournament-wise, don't forget this weekend in the Little Egg Harbor Tuckerton area, you've got the 4th annual Ragin' Raymond Charity Fluke Tournament on June 3rd and 4th. The captain's meeting is this Friday, the 2nd, at the American Legion on Radio Road. Like I said, great little event in the Tuckerton Little Egg area to support an outstanding cause. My thanks again to Ragin' Raymond's George Godlap, tournament organizer, who together with the good folks at Chestnut Neck Boatyard in Port helped me repower with a brand new Suzuki just 2 years ago. The bluefin tuna have arrived finally here at the Jersey Shore. We've had a flurry of reports in the past week or two. Actually, first started getting some quiet mumblings, murmurs about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but things are really kind of breaking open in the past week as folks are rushing to get in on that giant bite before the giant sub-quota closes. It'll close at any time. It could close while we're recording this. It could close on Thursday, Friday, who knows? That giant sub-quota will end at some point, at which point we'll turn over to the mediums, the school bluefin. But I'll tell you, you don't need a giant boat to get into the outstanding bluefish action mid-range this season. For Taryn and Andy Dillon, their 2360 Sailfish CC did the trick on Friday. 80 wide Avet on bent butts Okuma Makaira rods, both with Joe Shoots and Ballyhoo. They tail roped and brought a jumbo home back to port for steaks. And if you're looking to get in on the bluefin tuna action, again, I'll remind you that June edition, it has a great article by Captain Scott Newhall on how to choose the right shape, size, and color of those wide trackers. Those Sterling wide trackers are doing a number on bluefin tuna. So if you're trying to figure it out, even if you've got a center console like Andy and Taryn, and just like Scott Newhall as well, the wide trackers will get it done. Pick up that June edition, get in on that information on how to catch bluefin, and trust me, you will become the most popular guy in the neighborhood, the guy with loins for all of your friends. Speaking of friends, I've got news on a weekend tuna tournament, free fishing, and a new state record catch. But first, let's check in with my good friend, George, the Pocono Outdoors guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, the holiday weekend was a real boon for everybody that wanted to get out fishing. I know a lot of the guys up here headed south and east to try to get out in that saltwater, but a lot of guys stayed right here because the fishing was fantastic, especially if you managed to get yourself out on the Delaware River. Things are on fire there, guys. Lots of fishing going on. I mean, the shad's just about done, if it's even worth going out, but the striper bite is going ballistic right now. Lots of guys out getting stripers, plugs, swim baits. You go for it, they're going to be biting. So good striper fishing up on the Delaware. Also, guys are checking in, getting in some walleye. So that bite's still going strong. You know, the water's still cool enough, those walleyes are going to stay strong. Also, stuff like the flatheads. We had guys check in. Rob Murray checked in with a beast of a flathead he got on the Delaware River. That looks like that's a whole lot to hold on to. So I got to get out and get one of them myself. Also, my good friend Tim Keebler checked in from Finseeker Guide Service. He's been out smallmouth fishing. He managed to get himself a twofer. I don't mean two fish. You got two fish on one plug at the same time. So that's really getting your money's worth when you're throwing that kind of plug. Tim, give me a call. Let me know what that plug is for sure. Also, we have John Wardell. He was out getting his PB largemouth, 6 pounds 5 ounces on a homemade rat plug. Topwater, guys. Yeah, this time of year, topwater is definitely king for some of those post-spawn or pre-spawn and spawning bass. So get out and get on them. Courtney Gilmore out breaking in her new kayak as well, getting in some nice largemouth there. Good work there, Courtney. And Sean Sullivan out in Bucks County getting on his largemouth with a power minnow as well. So lots of great fishing, guys. I hope you're taking advantage of the weather and getting out and getting on them as well. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
Hey there, and welcome to Costa Rica and the Marina Pez Vela. This is Ben Gilmore from Jackpot Sport Fishing with this week's fishing report. So here along the beaches and the rocks, what we call our inshore fishery, we've had some really nice rooster fishing this past couple of weeks. We caught some great sized rooster fish up to 50 pounds, some real trophy fish. We've been tagging a lot of those fish for the Gray Fish Tag Research Program in Florida. Some really cool fishing going on. Offshore, we've had sailfish. Lots and lots of sailfish out there right now. Down here in Costa Rica, we get big Pacific sailfish. 70 to 100 pounds fish are common. Most of those fish are 8 feet long, so amazing sport on light tackle. Also, we've had yellowfin tuna out there and some really nice dorado fishing as well. Guys, would love to see you down here in Costa Rica. We got some awesome fishing packages. We got lots of great boats. Just look behind me here. Got a top-notch fleet down here. Come down and check us out. This is Ben Gilmore from Jackpot Sport Fishing and the Marina Pez Vela. Back to you.
Now, as George mentioned in the Freshwater report, we still have some outstanding striper action here along the Jersey Shore. Plenty of good fish to be plugged up out front along the beaches at first light and especially into the evening. Bunker chunks and clams are also getting the job done. Clams will get you on a black drum here and there as they move up along the beach. By boat, you got plug-in opportunities. You've got the flutter spoons, and even live lining continues, especially in the northern half of the state, where everything comes together off of Sandy Hook and Raritan Bay as those fish deposit out the Hudson, those Chesapeake fish. It's that point there in that little crook there where New York and New Jersey meet, which is where we're finding some of the very best action. I've heard rumors of some really enormous stripers being caught and released, and we'll have to see how long that run continues this month. By the way, with regard to the next New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meeting on striped bass sometime this month, read the full write-up in the news brief section of the June edition. I do know that today, Thursday, June 1st, that Council Advisory Committee on striped bass is meeting to review all the options and to deliberate on all the public comment. So that makes me think that probably, maybe, we're about a week or two away from an emergency council meeting, New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council, where they'll just take a vote on striped bass. So expect that in the next couple of weeks, but I expect we'll fully have everything in place, either the regulations that ASMFC wants by July 2nd, or we're turning over the tables. As soon as I find out more information, I will share it here with you. Look for the podcast link, by the way, in the text portion of the YouTube channel, right? At the bottom of the YouTube, in the text, in the body, in the information that you can read about, I will have a link to a podcast I did with Mike Wayne from the American Sport Fishing Association. As a former staffer at the ASMFC, he has some really cool insight into this emergency declaration. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's about 45 minutes. You can plug it into your Bluetooth and carry it with you while you're driving, or even put it on the speakers on your boat. Congratulations, by the way, to Jim Piasek, who caught New Jersey's new state record hybrid striped bass on May 24th while fishing for walleye on Monksville Reservoir in the early morning hours. That fish weighed in at 17 pounds, 12 ounces. It replaces John Veda's 16-pound, 10-ounce record from 2022. Sorry, John. Your old record hybrid only stood for 227 days. We'll see how long this one lasts. If you want to give the hybrids a shot, perhaps largemouth, salmon, muskie, trout, some Pinelands pickerel, or Asin pink crappie, this Saturday is your day to do it free here in New Jersey. If you haven't paid for your New Jersey freshwater fishing license, don't worry about it Saturday. You don't need one. You can fish for free. And if you like it, well then, by all means, go get a New Jersey freshwater fishing license after Saturday and get the trout stamp. Get all the good stuff that you need. So that's this Saturday, June 3rd, New Jersey's free fishing day. Free fishing day. It's cool. As for your weekend weather at the Jersey Shore, there's a chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday, depending on where you reside. But taking it another way, that means there's more than a 60% chance of no rain. So there you go. Inshore, our NOAA marine forecast does not exactly look rosy in terms of the midweek predictions for this weekend ahead. Just remember, NASA, they're the rocket science folks. NOAA, they're the other ones. Anyway, they're calling for some honking winds out of the northeast on Saturday and into Sunday. And offshore, it really doesn't look much better, with wave heights expected to kick up quite a bit on Saturday and Sunday. That's worth keeping an eye on in the next couple of days, especially for those of you who are planning to be in the Jersey Coast Shark Anglers it's their annual Bluefin Fever contest. That's set for June 3rd and 4th. So I'm sure any decision on whether moving the tournament or what have you will happen at the captain's meeting on Friday, June 2nd. That's at the JCSA Clubhouse on Herbertsville Road in Brick. You'll also have the Beach Haven Marlin and Tuna Club's annual Tuna Open Tournament. That's the third annual event. It runs from June 3rd through the 10th. Out of Beach Haven. It supports David's Dreams and Believe Cancer Foundation. With those 10 days, that tournament will continue. So even if you don't get an opportunity to go offshore this weekend, you got plenty of other time because it's captains choose their favorite day. Register over at bhmtc.com. Finally, this week, let me introduce you to the newest full-time member of the Fisherman magazine family, Jenny Ackerman, who started this week as the magazine's new media coordinator. Jenny, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Jim, for that awesome introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny. Like Jim said, I'm the new media coordinator for the Fisherman magazine. I am beyond stoked and excited to be working with the Fisherman, as it is my dream come true. I've been pursuing this job through my summer internship, and now I'm full-time with them, so I'm super happy. And I'm super excited to see the opportunities that come forward with the Fisherman. But most of all, I'm excited to be communicating with you guys through the video fishing forecasts and seeing you guys out there catching the next tide. Now, if you excuse me, I got some bluefish calling my name.
Learn more about where Jenny and I work here at the Fisherman magazine, all the how-to and where-to articles, of course, the news, and an extensive calendar of events that you won't find anyplace else. It'll give you a full weekly rundown of everything that's gone on of a fisheries nature all the way into July. Hey, listen, I've got the Manhattan Cup to prep for in the next few weeks. That's going on Friday, June 9th, next Friday. I've got some awards to defend. My brother Clark Harris in town will be on Brian Rice's Jersey Devil with Richie Torres, our veteran. I hope to see you there. You can go get all the information about that charity event over at manhattancup.com. Get all the details. And again, maybe I'll see you there with celebrity chef Tom Colicchio as well. Catch him up. Jenny, George, and I will be back here with you next week right here at thefisherman.com.